future is AI.
Yeah.
You cannot change everything. Everything will driven AI, and that's my passion. I'm driving. That's an overall the framework I just talked to.
How you have implement generative AI into the banking sector, risk sector? How you are using the generative AI?
I have more than 200 clients, to be honest, and it's a huge opportunity. And the leadership was amazing.
Okay.
And ranking to all I cannot be pick and choose because
Okay.
all leaders are amazing, especially in KPMG Saudi Arabia. One of the things I am very obsessed with two things. One is that Vision 2030.
Okay.
I'll talk about Saudi Vision because I had the privilege to work in KPMG and I'm obsessed.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today topic is related to just AI. Okay, today we will discuss about the transformation of the AI. We will discuss about the generative AI. We will discuss about the Vision 2030 of Saudi Arabia. So basically, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Debashis.
Thank you so much.
And it's a pleasure to having you in my podcast. And we already have a great conversation with him before our podcast. So, can you please introduce yourself? Where are you from? Education background? What's your career?
Amazing. So that's a very nice questions. So I'll break it down my journey.
Okay.
I'll say my journey because I'm still learning.
Okay.
So,
yeah, obviously everybody is.
Yeah, so it's all lifelong learning, you know that
Yeah.
because things change totally differently as things are totally. I'm learning because I sleep at 1 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter. So I started my journey in early in career because I'm coming from a distant suburb in near Kolkata, it's in West Bengal in India.
Okay.
So that time I was not smart like you that you were talking
No,
about.
you can say you are looking also younger. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It's okay. I see as a truth. So actually, I started my journey over there. In I suburb, I started my career in very early because I lost of my father. I take up my job very early, and then I actually worked initially in the financial sector in India,
Okay.
and then I slowly moved in Gulf, what I call it my. I would say my first home, not second home, first home.
Okay.
So I joined a company called Activa
Okay.
in the boutique firm when I started in Jordan. Then I moved to actually the Gulf in Bahrain. So in KPMG, I joined in KPMG in 2008. KPMG Bahrain and Qatar just total is under the leadership of Honorable Jamal Fakro, we call it KPMG Fakro. So in KPMG Fakro, I was working, we set up the FRM financial risk management practice, me and Dr. Shunondo. So me and he, we are mostly working in the research initiative
Okay.
of Reserve Bank of India. There's a central regulator.
Okay.
They have called ICAAP, board where I used to publish my papers. Actually, I'm obsessed.
Okay.
So we meet there. So he said, Dr. Debashis, why don't you come and join? And I think this is a privilege to be there. So we set up the financial risk management practice over in Bahrain in 2008, and then he tell me to go in Qatar, and I go there and set up the FRM practice over there. And KPMG was pre-existing across the globe, you know that.
Exactly.
So and then I was working well, and then I was asked to join the leadership of the Qatar National Bank, which is my key client. I joined QNB. QNB is a great learning, and the team was amazing, and I still have relationship of the many of the leadership. We saw CRO, Mr. Ashraf, he moved to US, and the chief, the great officer, Sayyida Farida, she is one of the great leaders, still in charge.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then after that, at QNB I was working very well. That's my key passion because financial I was little obsessed. I always obsessed with technology because if you see all my career, will talk about my certifications in the career. Because did I tell you that my professionally I did my graduation, then I did my masters in specialization on analytics, risk analytics, and then even my PhD was on the risk analytics side, which is under the supervision of Dr. Basavi Bhattacharya. She is one of the leader actually in education, academic leader. So and that's all about analytics and risk. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
obviously,
all my
yeah.
only one thing I know. That's AI and risk. If you know other things, I don't know.
Okay.
So in that case, when I was going, so as we're talking about, I was most obsessed with the technology, emerging technology. I joined a company called TCS. It is one of the
Yeah,
major
obviously.
player. I was mostly work with the TCS for the global banks.
Okay.
Oh, and before I forget, because before the start I forgot to tell that I always have a disclaimer. All my interview or discussions is on my personal capacity. It does not have any of the. I do not represent my employer, neither in current or previous employer. Number one, and number two, there's no conflict of interest. I'm sorry for saying that in the beginning. Yeah. So and then I worked in TCS, Data Consultancy Service, working the global banks and implementing the regulations called Basel, which is in UK is called CRD for the UK banks, like predominantly, and also US Bank. It's called in US Bank is NPR, the separate regulations. And I was doing the technology for the long, but my key focus and passionate about consulting.
Okay.
So then I moved back to consulting. I worked in Ernst in Dubai, and then moved back to KPMG. KPMG is always my home, and KPMG I worked, and in KPMG I moved to in Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 2018, and we started and implemented in here in the kingdom along with our KPMG UK the IFRS 9 ECL expected credit loss we can call impairment. I was closely instrumental driving the initiative over the. I will not name the clients because
Okay.
there's so
Okay. Obviously, it's a confidential.
yeah, can not disclosure. So we are driving. I have more than 200 clients to be honest, and it's a huge opportunity. And the leadership was amazing.
Okay.
And ranking to all I cannot be pick and choose because
Okay.
all leaders are amazing, especially in KPMG Saudi Arabia. I was had the privilege to work with them, and then after subsequently I moved to Bank Al Jazeera, and there's also the leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and right now with one of the bank which is a government entity, but where I'm not naming the organizations. This is actually driving the import and export of the kingdom, which is Vision 2030, which is my closely. I'm close to you,
Okay.
and I have been. And in addition to that, I always AI is my key passion.
Okay.
I'm a hardcore, so I done all certification. You can name everything. And my daughter said that how every time you said which the exam you pass, you monitor me.
Okay.
And she just completed medicine. So I just completed the Google both I'm solution architect, machine learning engineers, AWS solution architect, machine learning engineers. I'm so qualified in SaaS.
Okay.
I have a PMP and RMP because this is my obsession rather
Okay.
than you can telling that bragging about me. It's
Okay.
all I keep learning and I sleep back very late. And one of the things I am very obsessed with two things. One is that Vision 2030.
Okay.
I'll talk about Saudi Vision because I had the privilege to work in KPMG and I'm obsessed. I'm working multiple initiatives in my main capacity, individual capacity. I'm a very fan of the Vision 2030. And second thing that AI for all because as I struggled in my early days in the education, you got my point. There's very scarcity, and a lot of challenges. So education, teaching is my always passion. I do teach. You can see this board is
Yeah,
also
exactly, yeah.
board is also that I teach the people actually. Free of
Basically,
cost.
I really like your room. Obviously, each and everything you have organized. You have learned also the Arabic. And
Yeah. Arabic أنا أتكلم اللغة العربية.
ما شاء الله.
نص I mean
Yeah,
ما
sure,
في
sure,
مية
yeah.
yeah, but I'm very obsessed because my most of the friends in the Arabic regions.
Okay.
You can say that Saudi, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan, UAE is less, but in all regions, and I'm very and even Lebanon.
Okay.
So and Egypt. So we have working in the because KPMG, we have a distributor from Egypt, Lebanon. I know I speak and I'm very passionate about that, and I have friends, and most of the times I spend my time in Kabsa or any of those,
Yeah, okay.
Correct. So and this is the to the board because one of the key things is that AI for all. That's the initiative in driving. It's a
Yeah,
free
exactly.
education.
Yeah.
So empowering the peoples because future is AI.
Yeah.
You cannot change everything. Everything will driven AI, and that's my passion. I'm driving. That's an overall the framework I just talked to, and I've talked so much. It's over to you.
Yeah, obviously. As you told me all the things, I have a question, something like you are switching your career from risk analytics to as a generative AI. You are working right now in specifically working as a consultant in AI. What makes you something like you need to switch?
Correct.
What
Correct.
force you?
Correct. So if I just I'm rephrase the word. I'm still working in the risk analytics, but it's more focused on the AI.
Okay.
But because risk analytics is still my baby, but everything is AI. Even in the organization I'm working on, or will be working on, or had been working on, or moving in. If you see in other banks, they're moving to AI. Even risk analytics is driven by AI, generative AI. Because generative AI is not like about ChatGPT. You got my point. The AI is much broader. It's not that, because ChatGPT is a small part. Actually, it's disrupted, and because I always believe everything will disrupt the future, and that's the future. Is disruptions.
Yeah, exactly.
And other things, yes. So why I moving, always been passionate and moved to mostly on AI and generative AI is that that's the future, and everywhere. If you talk about it's in the finance, it will be generative AI.
Okay.
Or AI, artificial technology, everything,
Okay.
even medical science. And I was speaking to a couple of they have a Minister of Health. I was talking to one of the key leaders actually. A couple of key leaders they are saying that actually the disruptions, because there's even a Biban. I was met one couple of the leaders over there. So there's all transforming the health sector, which is the key in AI. And one thing I need to add that at 2030, why I'm very passionate. Can I ask you? Say they have a 96 directed indirect. So Vision 2030 was incepted, but AI was not so focused. So I don't expect that it will be very everything will be so much AI and data. So can you tell me, out of 96, your guess, how many should be in AI and data related?
Out of 96?
96, how many? Because
you can say 60
and then if it will be long way back, it is 2018 and 19. There are nobody's ever. How much it will be? 6, 10, 15, how much?
Maybe 5.
Maybe exactly. So that's the way this is forward looking. It's 66 out of 9. This 66.
Okay.
It's regarding to AI. And this is not my source. If you go to Sadaya side.
Okay. You are talking about around about 2018. Yeah. The year of 2018. At that time, I don't think so. There is a lot of opportunity in AI. Nobody is talking about on that time. After GPT is going to something change.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So that's the forward. Why I'm falling in love with 2030 vision.
Okay.
Because this is more and more strategic. It's very forward looking.
Exactly.
Because even sitting in 2018, they think that what are the touch points, indirectly or directly, almost 66 out of all the ideas. And that's not my view. If you hit into the Sadaya website, is clearly mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So it's not my fact. So this is very forward looking. So Vision 2030, which is transforming the kingdom.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally, and AI enabled. We have a huge budget. Budget is not everything. It's talk about your vision and strategy. And these are the reasons I always the fan. And I was talking that.
Exactly. If we will talk about the Vision 2030. It's totally related to the transformation of the Saudi Arabia. You can say in each sector, health, logistic, okay, you can say in a food sector also. And I go a lot of exhibition events over there in Saudi Arabia, and every time I realize they are investing a lot. Seriously, PIF giving the fund, you can invest, you need to transform each and everything, something like this. I have a question, something like you have experience in Gulf region, something like you have worked in Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan, now in Saudi Arabia.
And also UAE.
UAE also. So what's the difference you now going to see and why you are still in Saudi Arabia?
Correct. So actually every country has their own specific, and I will not say any further judgment because I'm not qualified to do so.
Okay.
But they have everything. But even ministry, the first globally first ministry of artificial intelligence was set up in UAE. So Gulf is one of the primary motive. the harbinger, I would say. But Saudi Arabia is very huge, especially the PIF has more than I think that for the 40 billion USD, the budget. And one of the key things that they have started recently, IBM, they have started up, the large language model for Arabic. Initially, it was done by Ziyad University, which is in UAE. They have already promoted. Actually, I'm the part of the initiative out of my curiosity. So, and then now they have the kingdom is moving forward. They have already started one Align, so which is an Arabic large language model, which is in transformations. And you must be curious to know that the kingdom was the first country which given the humanoid, the citizenship is called Sophia. It's long time back.
Okay.
And then what the journey was, changed by the inception of Sadaya, a national strategy on the AI, which is transformations. And interestingly, there's called AI index. AI index actually putting this has been calculated. So Kingdom was placed in 18th, and I is a number one in the ranking GCC. So the transformations in the kingdom is going very fast. I'm not making any comparison with other countries because I have not qualified to do that, and I don't have the capability, to be honest. But in the kingdom, the transformations is very fast, robust, and I'm working with so many thought leaders, especially the C-levels and other. I have the opportunity, especially speaking the forums, which is my passion, which will make me more educated, knowledgeable, to be honest. So kingdom is actually driving a lot of things, especially I'm a fan of Sadaya and the MISC they're driving, and His Royal Highness is driven by the His Royal Highness.
That's great. Let's talk about the generative AI. How you have implement generative AI into the banking sector, risk sector? How you are using the generative AI?
Great answer is a nascent stage. At the generative AI is the nascent stage. Most of the banks are going for in the POC stage, I would say.
Okay.
And they are implementing. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about here in the landscape. I cannot speak in details but in where the market is more mature, like in US already they have implemented long time back.
Exactly.
But in the regions, even in other countries as done, and Kingdom there's going for a lot of transformations in generative AI, especially they have a huge implementations, especially in fraud analytics, preventive fraud, credit scoring, and other part. And as you know that Google has already made a free footprint. They have a data. They are allowed to do because the kingdom has a very stringent regulations. What I really appreciate that you need to have a data center within the kingdom with the control, especially for the sensitive. So Google has AWS in process. Initially they announced, but that they are going to start, but it will take time because it's a lot of process. So even a lot of generative AI application both done Google and Microsoft, they're already being POC and the process, or at AWS when they will have the special finance sector. I'm not talking overall. They will have a lot of good POC generative AI. Say for example, I was a couple of days. They have a workshop I joined for the Google. I was joined that. They have a couple of workshops. So they have kept a couple of very specific, the use cases, which is replicating generative AI in financial service as well.
Okay, that's great. So, how the Saudi government using AI?
Right. So that is I will not skip this question because you can ask that question. Yeah.
Okay, so we can discuss about the IFRS 9 if you will go in detail.
Correct. So correct. IFRS 9 is accounting regulations.
Okay.
And in IFRS 9 regulations was implemented globally, and it's also implemented very robustly in SAMA, which is currently called SCB, so the central bank, and very robustly in IFRS 9 with the monitored control.
Okay.
And IFRS 9 actually gives a preventive measure to how to minimize the risk. We cannot zeroing the risk. So in that case, I'll say that very proactive regulations, unlike IS 39. IS 39, which is the predecessors, is talking about post-facto basis, but it is proactive basis, and it is monitor the risk. They have a concept called expected credit loss. So when you say in the name expected, it talks about how much you expect and you make a provision. So it means that what will happen tomorrow, you have your money ready. So neither the investors will be impacted, depositors will not be impacted, and the overall banking system, which has an interconnected rate, we call it contagion effects, and none of these things will be impacted. So IFRS 9 is one of the greatest, I would say one of the greatest risk regulations globally, and that's being implemented. And ECL, which is expected credit loss, that's being measured and monitored, and which is helped to maintain the financial stability of the banking system as overall.
Okay, that's great. Uh, can you give me the honest answer related to the how many opportunities will be going up in Saudi Arabia in AI? What do you think? It's going to be
correct. So
you can say it's a just a booming word, AI, or something. There is any implementation is going up in Saudi Arabia.
Correct. So first of all, I'll say it's not a hype. I have the privilege to work in different forums, and in the kingdom is very serious. If you say that recently they signed the PIF with the Google, you have seen that it's come. They have signed the signing between this PIF and Google Cloud. So the kingdom is very robust and strategic in its visions. It's not an hype. Many people say it's called a hype. It's not that. It's a reality, because everybody knows that it's a reality. There's a lot of progress, especially driven by Sadaya. And if you see many of the banks, most of the banks in the kingdom, they have implemented or implementing a POC stage in AI perspective. They are ready, and especially AI will be not only in financial services and across all the impacted services, and you just wait for LEAP, which is just near around. Right. So you'll understand whether I'm saying the truth or what is the fact. Okay. You'll understand from LEAP itself.
Okay, that's great. Can you explain about the trends in the GCC, and we need to go deeper into the FinTech?
Exactly. So one of the speaking, which I was speaking, one of the sessions in open banking.
Okay.
So and FinTech also two things, because I love speaking. Actually,
yeah.
That I'm always passionate about. Yeah. So what happens that typically, first of all, there are also disruptions. Disruption was banking system. What is happening? Bank is an intermediary rate between the depositors or lender and the money, two. So this intermediation is slowly being taken away with the disruptions. The FinTech, financial technology came in place, the technology. Then is coming open banking, API driven. Open banking also going through, there's a lot of sandboxing going on. Even FinTech, the SAMAs and the SAB and Saudi Monetary Authority, they all have very stringent. They're going to many startup ideas.
Okay.
And is being graduated. So if you talk about FinTech, there's a lot of transformations. So there's the banks, digital bank, FinTech, open banking, and the fifth, which is actually coming, that it is yet to say, they will disrupt all the ecosystem, because because ultimately there will be no intermediary. So that is the technology will take our intermediaries. So how it will enhance us? It will be it will help all the lenders, and also especially the recipients of the lending, depositors, and the whole ecosystem.
Okay, that's great. What's the future of risk management?
Risk management always have a future, because it's a past, present, and future. Because you have to manage risk.
Okay.
Unless you manage whatever risk, if you said financial risk, technology risk, all the risk, because there is nothing. We always go for risk adjusted rate. It means that if you take in 5 real, then you have to take out of your return rule 5 real and there's a 2 risk, so you have to take 3. Yeah. So risk always be there, and but only our strategy will be how we can minimize the risk as a part of the risk manager's
That's great.
job.
So basically, you have a lot of experience. You are working, maybe you can say more than 3 decades. And what you have learned, and actually how you can consult here in Saudi Arabia to the students, you can say for the companies, you can say for the government sectors, how you can put the value related to this.
Great. So if students is first thing, then that's is my passion actually.
Okay.
Because I always make students ranging across not the young, I mean all this. So my passions actually. So what I even consulting and whatever I would rather say that everything is that this knowledge is the key power, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing a couple of initiatives as well. I don't want to the crowd discussions in the knowledge initiatives, which is free AI for all or education for all and empowerment itself, because knowledge is give you the right empowerment and especially innovation and disruption. That's the agile process. So I would rather say that we need to learn more in the sense that not that learn on the job or overall maybe through education, but everything should be driven to be the technology which is emerging tech. Emerging tech could be artificial intelligence, or it could be blockchains or quantum computing. So everything will be is emerging. Emerging tech is disrupting everything, especially the AI, artificial intelligence. Though I believe, and one of the things also I will emphasize, because the Hinton who got the Jeffrey Hinton who got the Nobel Prize, I'm a passionate fan of it because he's he amazingly contributed to overall AI education, especially, and you know that he was sacrifices of his life actually. So he was started even at this age. So when he was interviewed when he got the Nobel Prize by the Nobel Academy. So he was saying, "I'm flabbergasted." I mean, he was surprised. He was possibly, one of the treatment for in a medical, the college, which is he's very humble in his lifestyle. What he's also said, that's my thing, that he was saying that we should think about what AI can become. It's called AI explainable AI, because AI should not take over. We should take over AI because it's not fictions. Because I'm hands-on on that part. AI should not be a black box. There's a reason globally we talk about 3 movement: AI for good, ethical AI,
Yeah.
and explainable AI. And I give more emphasis to explainable AI. It should not be, the black box. It should be 1+1. One of the key things, that if you see that it's in public news that Facebook stopped their overall their research all of a sudden, because they have automatic bot and bot. One bot is talking to in their own language. Nobody can understand. They stop because bot should not take over. So
Yeah.
even if you see that AlphaZero, which is actually the chase, they're overpowering the human intelligence. So I don't see that AGI is very near, is far off, but still we need to be very careful about explainable AI and ethical AI. That's an overall thoughts.
Okay, that's great. Great explanation. I have one question. Something like Google is going to open the data center here in Riyadh, and apart from that, AWS also and the Microsoft also have a plan next year. I have got a lot of questions related to the data, and I know the market is going up in the data field, and the AI also, generative AI, and there is a part of something like this. But I don't think so. Saudi Arabia is right now focusing on the blockchain and the cloud computing, something like this. What do you think? What's your opinion related to this? They have a plan to come into it or not?
Correct. Cloud already Kingdom has a much ahead actually. Just correct you.
So it's not cloud, quantum computing, something like that.
Quantum computing, yes, you can say. So blockchain is one of the things that I don't think that because I just attended with one of my I'm a fan of one Dr. Avi actually, one of the conference, Dr. Alam Mahdi. So she's driving one of the key companies out there. So actually, I joined when she set up the conference. I was part of the speaking at the conference, and there's a lot of couple of blockchain startups also you cannot believe in the kingdom itself.
Okay.
And one of the doctor and the professors used came and speaking. I'm a fan of it, Dr. Fahad. So, so blockchains we are also moving, but Web3 there are multiple regulations is required. Regulation is a key challenge, obviously in anywhere. So it is actually it's not everything is evolving. So it means that I can't say because blocks, especially blocks, is one of the secured, right? When you go for blockchains, there's the immutability, especially for the immutability. So I don't think that it might be taking time, but obviously we'll see through with the angle of the regulators. Regulatory come into place, and quantum computing is that obviously it will go for focus because that there's a lot of the focus, especially Nvidia. They have a huge presence over there in the kingdom, especially, and quantum computing. Actually, there's also feature that's also going, and everything will be, I think, very fast in a couple of years.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So apart from that, something like I have a question. What do you think about the opportunities here in Saudi Arabia, and what do you think the expats, you can say Pakistani, Indians, and other countries, they need to come here in Saudi Arabia and they need to focus here and they can get the better salary and something like this.
Correct. So I will not this question. I will address this question actually later. When talking about, because in the kingdom I don't see any differentiation because I work in so many and most of my family is not here. I spend many of my times in the and especially discussion with all the technology leaders and my friends in Istara. So they don't differentiate. I don't see any differentiation between expats and Saudi. I never had in my experience. But if you're talking about how they're doing for the treatment wise, I'm talking about neither I can see any differentiations. But if you see that how it will do, it will see that how expat will treat it is a question I don't know. I'm not the right person, but only I can see that opportunity obviously a lot, and especially if you see the transformation program, and they have initiated a lot of process over the privileged residency and other part. So they opened up the economy, and thanks to the leadership in the kingdom, and it's driving the reforms very faster stage, and it is already there. If you can see here, especially in Sadaya, or even the projects of the Red Sea, or the multiple projects are going on. So they're going through transformations. I don't see anything which is unfriendly to the expats. So obviously any country will, when they develop, obviously they will give more knowledge, emphasize to the locals. That's normal. I don't see this anything, but I don't see any differentiation, to be honest.
That's good.
But if you say that the question for any of this message for any of India, Pakistan, or any of the country, they can be most welcome, because it's going to be the AI hub in next 4 to 5 years in the kingdom, especially most of the companies, the technology companies, moving their local GCC headquarters in the kingdom itself, and it is going to be a hub, AI and emerging technology hub. I think they should come, and overall.
That's good. Okay, I have a question. Something like I'm a fresh graduate, or you can say I'm a website developer. Okay, I want to switch into AI. Okay, what passionate me to switch into AI, and can you tell us any roadmap, little bit how I can start?
Perfect. So first of all, you don't have to wish to switch. There will be no other option but to move to AI. You'll be forced to. Because everything will be AI driven. So you will not have AI driven means AI touch point, AI related. So it means that if you have to, it's my thought, that you have to scale up, survive, and fit to, because it's all a game of survival, right? Like Darwin theorem. the survival of the fittest. So if you want to be fittest, there's a reason I scale up every day. So fittest, you need to be upskill yourself in AI. And AI means AI is not a it's enabling your business. Say for example, if you are a website development, you can enable AI, improve your area. If you are a doctor, you can use AI to improve your area in your express. So AI is not a is enabler.
Okay.
It got by artificial intelligence. So it means that it will give you more supplement your intelligence in technology wise, and it will help it in overall basis. So if you think that if you want to go for your technology career, if you want to develop and if you do website development, you should move to AI driven development. There's a lot of truth. Even legally, the AI is helping lawyers. It's not supplementing. It's helping. It's enhancing, because it's basically is an enabler. So I would suggest that first you see what is passionate. End of the day is passion, because I have my own passion, which is me technology, AI, and other. So you need to have what passions me, it excites you, and then you can see your roadmap.
Okay, that's great. Can you go deeper about the Vision 2030? What is Vision 2030? I don't know about it.
Right, so that will take a long sessions. I don't want to. You can have a separate.
Okay.
But only I will say vision. If you see the vision means there's your outlook, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 2030 means that sitting in 2018 they're talking about. It's not 2030 means in the future visions. How will you move that one? So the vision means that of a country depends how you go for transformations. It's all about your transformation journey. When you talk about transformation journey, is that is everything, people, system, technology, everything, transformations, how you move ahead as that one. So vision 2030 is a huge. It will take 1 week to talk, to be honest. So I will say the vision 2030 is the is on the visions, which is actually is straightforward how the kingdom will be one of the leading nations.
That's great. Thank you so much for your sharing your insight related to AI and generative AI. And it's an incredible journey, and it's a pleasure for me to do a podcast with you. Thank you so much.
It's my privilege. And before I close out, I'll say again the disclosure: all my views and opinions not belong to my current or previous employer, and there's no conflict of interest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.